Welcome to another edition of Discover Tinley. Welcome to our program. Program to highlight the positive things that are going on in Tinley Park, and we always know that Tinley Park is a great place in which to live. And the program is always brought to you by the Community Resources Commission. My name is Ron Centani. I'll be your host tonight. Community Resources Commission is the volunteer commission in town that does some of the major projects, including Discover Tinley, which was last month, and hopefully you get a chance to go by and see that. And during the month of May, we're giving out scholarships to six very outstanding young people in Tinley Park. So hopefully some of you are watching. You're a young person, maybe possibly won a scholarship. For those of you who are going to be seniors next year, just remember sometime in February, March, apply for Tinley Park Scholarship given out by the village government. And again, coming up pretty soon, summertime is coming, and there'll be a lot of activities in town here. Tinley Park is kind of noted for a lot of things happening around the train station and town. I believe the car shows will start going on this year again on Tuesday evenings, and different events with the farmers market and some parades and movies and a lot of entertainment going on. So check the tinleypark.org website for that information in your local papers. Very important guest tonight. We've got a couple of very important people who have contributed a lot to Tinley Park. Our first guest especially, who has lived in town for 45 years, been a long-time resident of Tinley Park, volunteering in a number of organizations. And we had him on once before, but we had a little technical difficulty with our program, so we're going to try it one more time tonight and see if we can get things going with Mr. Leon Stremlau. Leon, welcome to Discover Tinley.
Good evening, Ron. I'm glad you invited me back.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we get going pretty good this time. Now, you're from the Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery. Where is that at, and what is that dedicated to?
Well, the cemetery is about 12 miles south of Joliet. If you're on Interstate 80, you get off at exit 132 and go south on Illinois 53, past the racetracks, past Elwood, and the cemetery is about a mile further south on the right. It's a place for veterans of national military service and their spouses can be buried. And I'm on the memorial squad. We perform military honors at the cemetery for veterans being buried there.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, when did that memorial squad start, and actually what is your role? What do you actually do on the memorial squad? 'Cause that's a pretty special group that really helps out with the burials going on there.
Well, the cemetery's been open since about 2001. The memorial squad's been active since 2003. I've been on it for about 5 years. On the memorial squad, we have a group of veterans, mostly veterans, but there are some non-veterans. We provide what's commonly known as military honors for veterans being buried there. It's a 3-rifle volley salute, sounding of taps, presentation, folding of the American flag to the family of the veteran. Our rifle squad consists of hopefully always 7 men, but sometimes we're down to 4. We need more volunteers, and that's why I'm glad you invited me to come tonight, so we can encourage people from Tinley area to be here. There are definitely 3 members of residents of Tinley on the squad, and we've got 3 more who do not live in Tinley, but are members of the Tinley American Legion or VFW posts. We like them too.
Okay, and you'll take volunteers from all over, doesn't that? They don't have to just necessarily be from Tinley.
They can be from any place in the area. Yeah. We will take anybody. Most of us are military, but some of us are not. But we do have a good training officer who will teach any volunteer how to fire, clean, and reassemble an old M1 rifle, if you remember what an M1 rifle might be.
Wow. That is old.
It was old. Some of them were made before I was born.
Yeah.
And I'm quite old. I'm older than you are.
Okay, I won't argue with that. But basically your job is to really bring honor to those. And I've been to, I think, 1 or 2 burials there, and it's quite impressive to see that memorial squad come in and really present the colors and make that presentation to the veterans' families.
And we do it 5 days a week, Monday through Friday. Except the memorial squad generally doesn't do it on Wednesday. There's a VFW post from Wilmington that'll come up and do it. And if the family requests, sometimes the branch of service that the veteran belonged to will also be there, and we will do a joint service.
Wow.
We will provide the bugler, the rifle volley, and they will fold and present the flag to the family.
What's the commitment of the volunteers? What kind of commitment do you kind of look for in people who want to volunteer or can volunteer for doing this job?
We ask a volunteer to commit to 1 day a week, same day of the week, every day. I mean, every week.
Okay.
I'm personally on Monday. I've been out there for 5 years now. And yes, we know that there are vacations and there are illnesses and there are family doctor appointments. That's why we like to have backups. When I started, there was 135. Now we're down to about 125. On Monday, we have 22 possible time slots.
Wow.
We start at 9:30 and we go till 2:30. And we're committed to present 2 memorial services in each time slot. 11 time slots times 2.
Oh,
we need
Wow, I didn't realize
we
that
need 2
many.
squads.
You do that many each day?
We have done 22
Oh my goodness.
in a day. So far, year to date, and it was about the same last year, we're averaging 12 and a half
Wow.
services per day.
Holy cow.
We do not do the scheduling. We do not have anything to do with the running of the cemetery. Scheduling is done by the funeral home through an office down near St. Louis.
Okay.
And the Veterans Administration operates the cemetery. We're just unpaid volunteers who do provide the memorial service at the shelter designated by St. Louis.
Wow. Well, that's pretty good. Now, weather has been pretty bad this winter. You guys still do it no matter, are you like the post office, rain or shine, snow or sleet?
Well, before this year, we never had a time when honors were canceled.
Wow.
This year, because of severe weather on a couple of Mondays and Tuesdays, on 2 occasions, they were canceled.
Wow.
When it's below 0 and the wind's blowing 20 miles an hour, nobody wants to volunteer to stand out in that cold weather. But other than that, yes, we're out there every day, and we've been out in some very cold days.
Yeah,
and some very wet days.
that amazes me after, especially this last winter, that you only got canceled twice. I would have thought it was a lot more than that. So I'll give you a lot of credit for being out there at that time to honor the veterans.
We're under a roof, but it's no walls on the committal shelter. They're just 4 corner posts.
It's still out there, yeah.
We're outside when the wind blows. It's nice in the spring and the fall when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
It's miserable in the summer when it's hot.
Wow. You ever? Well, let's put it. How can people contact you? Let's put the contact information.
The neighbor memorial squad can be reached through the cemetery offices. If our cameramen can zoom in here a little bit, there's an address on there. It's Elwood, Illinois. Call the phone number at 815-423-2257. Memorial squad will not answer it, but someone from the cemetery administrative office will answer it, and they take good notes. We'll get the name, and someone will contact the volunteer. And the volunteer does not have to be military. We have many siblings, parents, and we have a few who are just good-natured citizens who want to provide military honors. Most of us are men. Some of us are women. There's about 10 women on the squads.
Wow.
None happen to be on Monday, but they are on Thursday, Friday, and Tuesday.
Wow.
So,
okay.
And we do need more volunteers. Like I say, we can, to have our to man our 22 possible time slots on a Tuesday, we need probably 25 to 30 men.
Wow.
Or women, whatever.
Okay, whatever.
And Friday are committed to provide 3 internments per time slot. That means they can do 33, so they've got to have 11 men times 3, at least 33.
Oh my. Wow.
It's a very,
Very
manpower intensive ceremony.
Yeah.
Sometimes with people on vacations, we only have 4 men on the rifle squad. We would like to always have 7,
Okay.
but we always try to have 4.
Well, it's encouraged people to go out and if you want to volunteer. But if you know of somebody, possibly pass the word on. Maybe somebody who's not watching this program maybe doesn't know about it, and if those of you are watching it know of some veteran or somebody who might be interested in volunteering to do it, it might be tell them to think about it. Jot down the phone number and the contact information, and tell them to contact the cemetery out there.
And there is no cost. The uniform, similar to the
Yeah,
one
what
that
do you
I'm wearing,
get?
is
Okay.
provided by the Memorial Squad.
Okay, and that's a typical uniform you
That's
wear
a
then?
typical uniform. When
Okay.
it gets too warm, the jacket goes off, and we wear only a white shirt. And then we even have a short sleeve white shirt. And in the wintertime, we have a lined trench coat and a, I don't know what you call it, a Russian Cossack style hat to keep our heads warm.
Well, as long as you keep it warm, that's good. Wow.
But
Okay.
clothing and shoes are provided.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. So you're well dressed and taken care of with that.
And Ron, we could provide you a uniform. As an old
Okay.
Air Force veteran, we could use you too.
Oh, I don't like the old veteran you said there, but yeah, I know. I wish I could. I'm in and out a lot, so it's hard for me to make a commitment like that. But
One day, same day every week
Yeah,
is
yeah.
a hard commitment
Right.
to do.
But I'm sure there's quite a few other people out there who could possibly help out. Well, there's 100 and some already now, so hopefully there's a few more out there, a few more good men and women who might be willing to volunteer to help out and take a shot at this. It's a way of honoring the veterans who have served the country and helped out. So appreciate you guys doing it all these years too. Now, we got a few minutes left. We have another minute left. You've been involved with Tinley Park too. You don't necessarily just do this. You've done other things in town here also. What else have you been involved in?
Soon after I arrived in Tinley, I was on the back, I don't know if we want to say that far back, but I moved into Tinley in '68. And sometime in 1970 till about '73, I was a commissioner on the Long Range Planning Commission.
Okay.
I was running a volunteer blood bank through the Knights of Columbus for the community when we had blood insurance in those days, and I maintained all the paperwork manually.
Oh my.
And then eventually with another similar blood group going on in Tinley, we combined them, and we ended up under village auspices for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, wow.
And
Now,
then
how many years were you on Knights of Columbus?
How many? Well, I joined the local council when I moved here, but I've been a member of the Knights of Columbus since 1969.
Oh my. Okay.
But my grandfather was a member.
Oh,
my
my.
father was a member. All of his brothers were a member. So when I got old enough,
It was kind of written,
I did it.
written in the family stone there.
in the Hindu.
Wow. Well, thanks for coming to Discover Tinley, and appreciate your volunteer efforts on the village, and also especially with this memorial squad. So again, let's get this phone number up one more time, 815-423-2257. Contact them and volunteer your services and help out the memorial squad. Thanks for coming to Discover Tinley.
Thank you.
Well, our next guest comes to us from the Tinley Park Police Department, one of Tinley Park's finest, with a new program. A program that's only been around for a very short time. A number of people, citizens, have been involved in the program. We thought we'd like to let you know all about the Citizens Police Academy. And we have with us tonight the supervisor of the academy, Sergeant Keith Sullivan. Sergeant, thank you for coming to Discover Tinley.
Thank you, Ron, for giving me the opportunity to come here and talk to you today about it.
Yeah, the Citizens Police Academy. It sounds pretty important. I don't know. It sounds pretty good.
You know, it's got a nice title to it, but it's basically just a program set up for our citizens to showcase our police department, what we do for the community.
Yeah, what's the goals and purpose of the academy? And then we'll go into why it got started and how it got started. But what's the purpose of the academy in the first place?
The purpose of the academy is open up our line of communication with the police department and the citizens in the community. On a day-to-day basis, most of the time people do interact with police officers, not always in a good fashion, either they're getting pulled over or something bad has happened to them. This gives them the opportunity to see what we do in our police department, to meet the officers, and it opens up the line of communication for us with them, making it more of a comfortable environment where they can contact us and feel more safe.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like you say, if somebody has contact with a police officer, sometimes it might not be the most positive side. But yeah, I've known several officers, and there is a positive side to you guys, and there's a good side to the police department. You provide quite a decent service, and I always tell people you couldn't pay me enough to do your job. It's a fantastic job you're doing, but this is a good chance for people to get to see other things that you guys do besides just patrol the streets and see what's going on out there. How and why to get started? What brought this all about in Tinley Park?
Well, To give you a little background on Assistant Police Academy, it originally started back in 1977 in England. And it started as a police night school. It was set up to showcase their police department to their citizens, the different areas of investigations, patrol, the different functions and their responsibilities. And from that, they had a great turnout on that. They got really good feedback. In 1985, the city of Orlando, Florida, their police department initiated the first Citizen Police Academy in the United States. But their concept was a little bit different. It was to reduce crime by opening up the lines of communication with the public and their police department. And again, they had a really good response from that. The Tinley Park Police Department, Citizen Police Academy, started in 2013. And that was the start of our first class. In 2012, Steve Neubauer was appointed Chief of Police of Tinley Park. He came to our police department and he brought forth this idea, which he brought from his previous police department, which was the Elmhurst Police Department, which had a very successful Citizen Police Academy. From 2012 to 2013, we started laying the groundwork down, the logistics for it. And in 2013, we offered our first Citizen Police Academy class in January.
Wow. Okay, so it is kind of new. It's kind of getting off the ground here a little bit. Who's involved? Who is in this academy group, and how do you get these people to get into the group to be in the academy?
Well, the academy class is made up of citizens in our community or people who do work in our community, and they got to be 21 years of age or older. And we do have an application that will go out. We usually start our application process sometime in August at the National Night Out. That's usually our kickoff date for it. We do offer the applications are also going to be online, or you can pick them up at the police department. And it's open to anyone who resides in the village of Tinley Park or works in Tinley Park and is over 21 years of age.
Okay. And when and how often do you guys meet?
The Citizen Police Academy runs, it's a 12-week program, and it runs on Thursday nights from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. It's held at our police department.
Okay, and a couple hours a night, and you got some of the topics. And I've got a list of the topics here. Let's talk about something, because you got some interesting topics here that you guys cover. The one that seemed the most interesting to me was the CSI. You guys get involved with the CSI stuff, and what do you teach about the CSI type of things at the police academy?
Well, in the CSI lecture series, basically we have a short lecture put on by our field evidence technicians. Those are the guys and girls that go out there and they collect evidence. They do the fingerprinting out there on the street. They put on a short lecture, and then they go into a workshop, which gives the students a chance to process evidence, whether they're dusting for fingerprints or trying to collect DNA. And they do see what these officers do on the street. And it also dispels that common belief that from the time a crime happens to the time the police show up and they recover the evidence, that we'll have a criminal within 30 minutes as portrayed on TV. Yeah. So it kind of gives them a first-hand look at what the officers are doing out there. And it kind of dispels the myth that once we put in the computer, we can solve within 30 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. You wish it would happen that
way. And it's
way.
hands-on, and and all the students really seem to enjoy that because they're actually doing physical hands-on work with the officers, and obviously in a scenario environment.
Wow. And then another interesting thing is this ride-along. What do you do on a ride-along, and what kind of things would somebody experience on that?
Well, what we have set up is a ride-along program, and it usually follows the course of instruction on traffic stops. And after they go through the course of instruction on traffic stops, which is lectured and also has hands-on, where they actually go in a police car and they do practice for mock traffic stops with officers in our fire training tower a lot. Then they go in the ride-along program. With the ride-along, they get an opportunity to go out on a road with an officer from anywhere from 2 hours to 4 hours, depends on the officer, and they get to go on patrol. And the officers go about conducting their day-to-day business, handling their calls, making their traffic stops, handling accident scenes is normal as would be, and the citizens that are with them get to see what they do on a day-to-day basis.
Wow. That sounds interesting. I'd like to do that sometime. I'll have to join the academy and start doing that. And I'm sure that's kind of let me ask you this about when traffic stops. Personally, when you stop somebody, do you get kind of uptight about what am I stopping here and who am I stopping? Does it ever, and then how does a police officer deal with the unknown about who you just stopped?
Well, every traffic stop, in my opinion, is considered high risk because even if I run your license plate and it comes back to your name, I don't know if you're actually driving the car, so you're always at a heightened level of safety. Are there times when you make approach on a car and you're nervous? Yes. If I was to say there wasn't, if I was never nervous, I'd be lying to you. It's part of the job. When we got into the police work, you knew there was a lot of uncertain things that are out there. There's a lot of safety concerns that come up. You work through it, and based on your training experience and knowledge, you start making good tactical decisions to keep yourself safe and your partners.
Wow. Yeah, to me that's the most dangerous thing. So the ride along, somebody gets to actually see that kind of stuff going on and see how an officer actually handles a traffic stop situation then, huh?
Yes, the ride along is one of the highlights of the program, and we do get a lot of our students requesting to do additional ride alongs, and we do allow them to do that during the program. But they're automatically given one ride along, and if they don't want to do it, it's not a problem. We don't have a problem with that. And some that wanted to come back and do an extra one, we got them in there and get them an extra ride along. So
okay.
they really like that too.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
Get out of the classroom, get on the street,
Yeah.
in the car with an officer, and seeing how they go about their day-to-day activities kind of opens them up to what we do out there.
Exactly. Now, one of the other topics you cover is handcuffing. How do you talk about handcuffing? Is there a certain technique to that, or?
No, where the handcuffing comes in is we kind of go over our defensive tactics, what we do to protect ourselves on the street, and also how we take people into custody. We'll be having to use a baton, the OC spray, which probably referred to as pepper spray, handcuffing a person, and we actually do a taser demonstration. And with the handcuffing, the students get a chance. They get a short presentation on how to handcuff, a little bit of training on it, and they get to practice handcuffing each other.
Each other?
Each other.
Oh, boy. And you make sure you have that key handy, right?
Well, sometimes you might.
Okay.
No, we always have a key handy to get them out. We use training handcuffs, so you
Okay.
just can flip a switch and they can pop out.
Okay.
But they get to do the taser, and that's a really big thing now is everybody hears about taser on the news. The police officers taser someone. So you get to see what a taser is. And we do a taser demonstration, and then we select a couple students from the class, and they get to actually discharge a taser into a training target.
Oh, into it. Okay.
Let
Not
me,
into each other, right?
Oh, no.
Oh,
Into a training target.
Okay.
In this class this year, we actually had one of our newer officers had to go through his taser training, which when we go through it, we have to get tased ourselves.
Oh.
And so he took a taser hit in front of the class.
You actually have to do it, get tasered yourself?
Yes.
Oh, my.
So
Okay. Another reason I don't want your job. Wow. Okay, so they learn all that kind of stuff, what's going on, and on TV it looks like, okay, put the cuffs on, zip. It's probably a little more involved than doing that.
that's correct.
And very risky, too.
Yes.
Wow. And you take them over to the dispatch center, too. What goes on over there that they see over there?
Well, at the dispatch center, we set up a tour of our 911 center. They get to meet some of the telecommunication officers and get to take a tour through and see exactly what they do on a daily basis. Answering the phone calls from the citizens that are calling in to report crimes or calls for service, putting the information into the computer and dispatching our officers out on the street. They also get to see the camera room in a bank of TV screens where they can see our closed circuit television cameras we have in the downtown area and other areas throughout the town. So they get to see where the camera operator sits and how the camera operator works hand in hand with the dispatch center and providing us with information in real time while we're on the street.
Wow. That's pretty interesting, I'm sure, to see all that kind of stuff going on. We haven't got time to go through all of them, but just an idea of some of the other things you cover is firearms safety, community policing, internet safety, evidence and crime scene management, juvenile investigations. There's a lot of things that you guys cover in this police academy in 12 weeks, so it's a pretty intensive course you got there. And graduation, what's involved with when they graduate, what's involved with that, and what do the people do after graduation?
Well, we have a graduation ceremony at the end of the Citizen Police Academy. We hold it over at the Kelson Center at Village Hall. We do cater it. We have a couple short speeches given by the coordinator, who is myself, and then the officers that are actually handling the day-to-day operations. They receive a certificate. They receive a challenge coin, our police department challenge coin. And at that point, once they graduate, they have the opportunity of joining the Citizen Police Academy Alumni Association. And right now it's kind of in its early stages because this is our second class. But the goal of the Alumni Association is to take what they learn in the academy now, continue different types of different lectures, and also helping us. For example, we had Academy alumnus helping us at our St. Patrick's Day parade.
Oh.
And they're just acting in a civilian role, being an extra set of eyes and ears out there on the street for us.
Mm-hmm. Do you kind of hope people get out there and spread the word about what's going on and this is what actually happens, and if you can help out, and things like that?
Yes, and we sometimes will go to our alumnus and come up with different things where like we'll have public fingerprinting.
Oh.
Start train them on doing that. They'll do the identification cards for the children if they ever become lost or missing. They'll do the fingerprinting for that. They do help us out a lot.
Wow. Okay. Well, and now again, how do people get involved with this or get involved with the program?
Well, the program applications that will come out in August,
Okay.
we'll have information on the police department website. We'll also have applications available at Village Hall. If anybody needs to get any additional information, get in contact with an officer in regard to this, they can always contact me or Officer Perry Dubish or Officer Sonny London.
Okay. Oh, Sonny Londonson? He's another one of my former students.
Yes.
That's good. Well, congratulations. It sounds like a real neat academy, real neat experience program there. And if you want to get involved with this, it's really give you a good chance to see what the police department really is on a day-to-day basis, more than what you might see on TV. And thanks for doing the program and coming to Discover Tinley. Good luck to you on the program.
Thank you, and I appreciate you taking the time out to have me come in here today and talk to you about it.
Wow. We've heard some two very important people in town here. If you want to volunteer again for that memorial squad, contact the Abraham Lincoln National Cemetery. And if you want to be on the Citizen Police Academy, contact the police department. Until then, we'll see you next month.